Hello, friends. Welcome and namaste. Crystal Joy of CJoyYoga. And just putting out there, most of y'all tell me you do this, the content as it comes out. And so we're not all in the same place, but here in Walla Walla, Washington, it's September 3rd, and we're about to have a 101-degree day. So it's like it's the end of summer. We've accumulated so much heat, potentially, depending on where we live. And so trying to stay cool gets harder and harder and harder because we, like the earth, accumulate it through the whole season. So at the end of the summer, it can be particularly difficult. So that said, I've been struggling with trying to figure out for myself what I need and what to teach in the sense of like I don't know about all y'all, but I still really want to move. I'm sick of the heat and not wanting to go out at any time after about 12 o'clock and be active because of the heat and various things. So today I'm going to try to give us a little bit of strength, but we'll move slow. We'll take breaks in between so we don't build too much heat and more than being heat, it's going to be just mobility and stretching, something along those lines. And then we'll see what actually comes out of me when I teach. That said, find yourself in your upright posture as you feel those buttocks bones rooting down, right? Any point of contact you have with the earth, I call it, it is the earth energy, whether you're on a block or blankets or a mat, etc. But just feeling that those connection points. And as you start to travel up the body, scanning through the body from those connection points, let that energy get a little lighter and a little lighter and a little lighter. And I've been bringing in this idea of what happens if we think of the head as a helium balloon, right? Because up top, that's that ether energy, that cosmic energy. So as if our head was a helium balloon trying to float up. I meant to look this up. I can't remember if it is the lightest gas we have or if it's near it, elemental wise, right? But it is an incredibly light gas and moves up. But of course, you're tethered to the earth. I cannot seem to talk today. Of course, you are tethered to the earth, so you're not going to float away. But that way, we get both the earth energy and the ether energy. And then check in anything else you want to scan through or notice body, muscles, breath, thoughts, feelings, emotions, wills, desires. They are all a part of us. But of course, part of the balancing act that we learn with yoga is we don't want anything to stick around and get really stagnant. We want it to be able to move through us. So the thoughts move through, the emotions move through, even trying to let the desires, right, the wills move through. And speaking of moving, you can open the eyes or leave them closed, bring your arms out. We're just going to start with some simple spinal moves. So you'll lean over to the right till your hands come down. And you can be sitting cross-legged, of course. You won't have quite as far to go to get down. You can bend that bottom elbow and just let your spine move over to the right in what's called a lateral movement, side movement, and over to the left, right? And if you want to engage and add that upper arm, I'll call it, the opposite arm comes up and over. Go ahead and add that into your practice. Might start to feel your side body wake up a little bit. And then the next time you're over to the right, let's stay over to the right. If you want to add a rib roll, those of you who with me regularly, you know this well. We're going to let those left ribs roll down. That arm may come down a little bit. You can swing through with it if you want to. You don't have to. And if it's okay with your shoulder, when you open back up and roll open, maybe that arm comes into saguaro cactus, right? So go ahead and roll down. You'll feel the stretch shift around to the back side of the body a little bit. And as we open up this way, hopefully we feel the chest and the shoulder get an opening. Do that one more time, just playing with those motions. Notice what you notice. And then pause here, saguaro cactus. You could leave the arm extended, hand could be on hip. Hopefully, you know all these things from being with me, being around me for a while. And from there, go ahead and maybe look back and find a little more rotation, and then come all the way up. And just pause for a moment in between sides. I'm guessing that your left side body feels quite different than your right side. We'll come over to the other side. And again, just to say it at the beginning, hand could stay on hip for all of this. Arm could reach over. And we're going to roll the right ribs down a little bit, right? And when we come open, if it's okay in our shoulder girdle, we're going to move into that saguaro cactus arm. And go back and forth between that a few times. I can turn and look down and then turn and look up. And of course, then I get my cervical spine a little involved. Just nice, gentle, graceful motions. The next time that you are in your saguaro cactus arm variation, maybe pause there for a breath or two and just feel the front of that shoulder open. Maybe I feel it down in the front of my right hip, kind of pelvis area, and then come all the way up. You don't have to have the same experience as me. I just point stuff out in case it's helpful. Let's come into child's pose. So let's take those blocks and just put them at the front of our mat. That way they're there for us if we want them. I would put them on both sides, but since y'all are trying to see my body, I'm going to put mine off to one side so you can see my body a little better. So come into child's pose and let it be soft for the first bit. You can have your arms wherever you want them. My request is simply let your forearms come down to the ground and don't work strength right now, right? If it feels okay, you might let your hips sway right center, left center, forehead on something. If the forehead doesn't make it to the ground, bring in a block or a blanket and build the ground up to your forehead. Jiminy Christmas. And come on back to center. Go ahead and stretch those arms out. So now the arms are straight out in front of you, hands down on the ground. Push through those finger pads, not just the palms. You take the weight out of the wrists. That'll be important in downward dogs and such. Right? Go ahead and lift your forehead, and we're going to walk this over to the right. Hands are still about shoulder distance or so. Push the hands forward and down, and then reach those hips down and back, especially that to the left hip. Maybe forehead comes back to ground, or at least just soften the neck. Breathe into your left side. Lift the forehead, walk past center, and walk over to the left side of your mat. Reaching forward and down, let those hips move down and back. Forehead or neck softens. Forehead might make it to the ground, doesn't have to. And breathe into that. Okay, come on back up to center, and we're going to go into our first downward dog. So if you want to just stick with extended child's pose, this is the foundation for everything we do in downward dog, right? Without the weight. And then those of us who want to add on, we're going to lift our hips, curl our toes under, and make our way back. Now this first downward dog, go ahead and, pedal, move the body around a little bit, do whatever you want to do, just to feel like you're opening up the body a little bit. I'll always suggest that when you start to move towards stillness, you bend the knees and find the length of the spine first, and then add the length of the legs in. If your legs are really straight, you have tight hamstrings or other muscles, it might prevent you from getting length in the spine if you start with straight legs. Take a breath and come on down. Child's pose. Let your forearms rest, whatever variation you take, and pause. Coming up into hands and knees. Knees under hips-ish, wrists under shoulders-ish, something like that. And do a couple of cat-cows just to start to move that spine and these two motions. Push down through your finger pads, not just the heel of the hand. Push down through the tops of your shins and ankles and feet. My ankles don't touch the ground, but they still push down, right? And if you're like, oh, my medial arch is cramping, let go of it a little bit, but try to do what you can to start to open that line if you're able to, right? Come on back to center. You're either tucked nor you're you're neither tucked nor tilted. Oh, my tongue's not working good today. And then from there, you're going to curl your right toes under and straighten that right leg back. Right, so I have a straight leg, but my toes are on the ground. I'm going to find my 1, 2, 3. That's from previous classes. Go ahead and lift that right leg up just to the height of the hip. Hold. Push down more through your right hand and your left shin. And then maybe that left arm is also going to come up bicep next to earish. Take an inhale. You can just do this. You could just do one limb. Exhale, maybe you pull the belly up and you pull the limbs in towards one another. And then slowly send it back out. Don't let that belly drop down when you do that, right? And exhale, pull that belly in. And again, once you go into cat, then bring the limbs in towards each other. Send it back out and set that down. Let's do the other side and then we'll take another child's pose. So find your neutral. Curl your left toes under and straighten the left leg. Before you lift it, make sure you got the stabilizers turned on, right? Once it's up, it's hard to find. Find your 1, 2, 3, and then bring that left leg up. Push more to your right shin and such. The left hand, bring that right arm up, bicep next to ear or not. Everything is a stage. You can always go back up a stage, right? Exhale, pull the belly up, round into cat, and then bring your knee and your elbow together. Inhale, separate out. Exhale, pull the belly up. Spine to sky, limbs in. Send it out and set that down. Child's pose. Soften down in. Okay, I want to add some twists for the spine. So we're going to do so from lunges. So you could just simply step your left foot forward. Otherwise, come up in a downward dog. And we might come into it fancy style, right? All I mean by fancy style is we come to downward dog and we'll come forward from here. Inhale the left leg up into the air, pull the belly up and round into cat like we just did, and then try to step your left foot forward. Let's bring the right knee down, or not. You can leave it lifted if you prefer. I'm going to bring in blocks personally. You do you, I'll do me. We're going to move the hips a little forward, find a little bit of an upper back bend and reach the chest forward, look forward, and then exhale back, rounding over that front thigh. Inhale forward. So again, yes, we're getting into the hips, but let's bring the spine into play too. Exhale, get a little forward fold as you bow over that straightish left leg. And then come right to the center of your lunge, right? Ankle underneath. That right hand is on some surface, whatever you would like it to be. I like my block on low personally. Get nice and long before you twist, right? And then bring the spine into that twist by pushing the left hand into the thigh and the left arm up, right? There are many ways I could teach this, most definitely. For my friends who want a little more strength, I'm not going to stay there with you because, again, it's going to be too hot today and I'm having a hard time dealing with the heat. But you might curl your right toes under and lift that right thigh up if you want a little extra juice, right? And go ahead and bring that hand, left hand down, and we're going to step back to downward facing dog again. So take your time, get there through your best, most beneficial practices. Breathe. Inhale the right leg up. And as you come forward, round the spine, pull the nose and the knee together, then look forward and float the right foot forward. Left knee can come down or up, your choice. Blocks or not, your choice. Move the hips forward, shoulder blades down the back, chest forward. Exhale as you move the hips back and straighten that right leg, bow over that right leg. Inhale, shoulder blades down the back as you reach the hips forward. Find that little opening in the chest as well if you can today. Exhale back, and yes, right hamstring, but also a little bit of lengthening of the back body, right? Inhale, come right to your center. Find something sturdy for the left hand to be upon. Right hand on the thigh, get long in the spine. And then today we're going to push into that right thigh to come into the twist. Maybe you reach those right fingertips up. And again, just in case you want it, you might curl your left toes under and lift that leg now that you're in. Again, I'm not going to build extra heat today, so you'll see my knee is down. Take a breath there, and then bring that hand down and step back to downward facing dog. Now let's go ahead and move the blanket out of the way. Inhale forward towards high plank, aka top of a push-up, right? And exhale back, downward facing dog. We got 3 of those. Nice, slow, and steady. Inhale forward, look a little forward, reach that chest forward, thighs up. Exhale back. Third one is a charm. We'll stay forward here with the third one. Now let's rock a little forward on our tippy toes and then bring our knees down or leave them lifted. Exhale, brush the elbows by the side as you come down to the ground. Leave those hands back. As a matter of fact, look back. For today, have your wrists under your elbows, right? And then from there, low cobra. Feet down, thighs lift, tailbone down, belly lifts. We inhale up, the usual suspects, right? Exhale down. We got 3 of these, love bugs. Inhale, activate so you keep the low back safe as you access the upper back, right? Exhale. One more time, we're coming up. This time we're going to stay up. We're going to slide our hands forward, but keep the shoulders deeply rooted in the sockets, right? And then keep that belly pulled up. So I call this superhero or something like that. We're going to fly. You're going to fly to the left by lifting your right arm and your right leg up. Now that can be just minimal, or you can rock a little towards your left side body if you want a little more. And then come back down. So I showed the little more. I'm going to stay with the smaller version today. Left arm and left leg are going to lift, and you're going to fly to the right. And come back to center. Do that one more time on each side. And again, you have options of just resting in crocodile, right? You could not lift and just visualize that you're lifting and stay steady right in the center. And of course, the higher you lift, the more you're going to have to work. Let's all meet in crocodile. If you can stack your forearms today, take that. If you need palms, that would be okay, hand stacked. Bring your forehead down and let your legs go about as wide, your knees go about as wide as your mat. Every time you inhale, see if your belly can't be so soft that even though it has nowhere to go, your low back expands. So the diaphragm has to move down to bring air into the lungs, right? If we harden our belly, that's really hard for the diaphragm to do, and then we don't take very deep breaths, we don't access the lowest lobes. There's all kinds of negative things that come from that. So soft that the diaphragm can move down. You'll feel your low back expand. We're going to bring air into the lowest lobes of the lungs. Okay. We got one more move here, and then we'll do a release and come on up. So move those legs back into hip distance and move your arms back by your sides. So straight arms, but my hands are palms down next to my thighs. Think Shalabhasana, locust pose. Press your hands down first and notice how your shoulders do a little lifting. You can have your forehead down. I just have to have mine up for vocal quality, right? And then push your feet down, your thighs get buoyant. So shoulders and thighs are buoyant. Move the tailbone down and feel the belly lift and get a little buoyant. And then inhale, upper body's going to lift first today. So push down one more time into your hands. Maybe you can find a little more of a chest opening. Keep that belly pulled up. Maybe the feet lift up a few inches. And then get as long as you can possibly get. Crown of the head's going to reach forward, not your chin, but the crown of the head, right? And those big toes, reach them straight back. Keep that belly toned up. And exhale, come on down. Turn your head one direction. And I just take off my glasses for this. It's a minimal amount of pain to take my glasses off in order to get the passive neck stretch that I get afforded here in this pose, right? One more Shalabhasana. Forehead towards the ground or on the ground, just neck neutral. Turn your palms down, right? Push the feet down, shoulders lift. Push the hands down, shoulders lift. Put the feet down, thighs lift. And then pubic bone moves down to pull the belly up. Okay, so we're going to try to lift everything at once except for the hands. So with an inhale, lift your chest, your upper body, and your lower body, right? Your toes. Get as long as you can possibly get. Now you can keep your hands down. You got 3 options for this one today. You can turn your palms towards one another as you lift the hands, or you can interlace your hands and reach your knuckles back. And for many of us, that gets a slightly bigger, a shortening on the back side of the body, opening of the chest, right? Take a breath and exhale, come down, turning the head the other way, palms up. And I'm not going to do that so I don't hang up on you because I have the earpiece in one ear. Breathe. Okay, let's bring our hands back towards that low cobra position, wrists under elbows. Find your 1, 2, 3, so you're nice and strong, and then we're going to push back to, oh, I said we were going to do an opener. I'm a liar. We're going to do it from somewhere else. So go ahead and push back to either downward dog or, right, into child's pose. We'll meet in child's pose regardless. So if you want a couple of breaths in downward dog, it's the last one of the class. Notice if and how it feels different than the others, right? Notice what's holding on that doesn't need to. Maybe there's something not working that you could use turned on, right? Really just bringing the awareness 100% into that beautiful body. Child's pose, let's meet there. Any version, but please soften the forearms. Come up to hands and knees. Have a block or a blanket nearby. That way, if you need it, you can grab it with ease. Pardon me for turning my ass to you, but that's where the information is. You're going to bring your knees and your legs together, lower legs. You're going to cross your right knee over to the outside of the left leg. Go ahead and let your feet split a little bit. I call it whale's tail. And then you're going to start to sit back. Now, if when you go to sit back, right, it feels like you're just a crooked spine and you're having a really hard time, or the hips are too tight, or the knees, or whatever it is, just put a surface, something underneath your buttocks so you lift yourself up just a little bit. In an ideal world, I'd probably be on a blanket. That would be about my happy medium. This is probably a little high for me, but something like that, right? And get the spine as long as you can. So the left buttocks really wants to lift right now. So the left buttock sinks down and then the spine grows up tall out of that. And this might be plenty for you. Maybe you fold forward just a little bit and you start to fold over those legs. A little flex in the feet goes a long way for helping the knees stay protected in a slightly precarious pose. I like to remind people that when we're doing pigeons and stuff, it's not that it's going to hurt necessarily on that time of doing pigeon, but if you do pigeon over and over and over, and you have, say, a femur that doesn't rotate out, do out of rotation all that well, or whatever that is. Oh, I don't like the way I'm saying that. External rotation might be difficult for the thigh, and so the knee takes the brunt of it. Inhale, come on up. And so it might end up being after doing it a number of times, you cause yourself trouble. Come forward, uncross, and go ahead and bring those legs in towards each other. And then we're going to bring that left leg behind the right. Again, let your feet split into whale's tail and start to sit back. Now, each side can be entirely different, right? So again, if when you go down that right hip is really high and your spine is in the C curve and you're having difficulty, or the hips or the knees are sore, go ahead and sit up on something. I guess the other thing I should have said, I apologize, you could just do Sukhasana and get out of this pose entirely. I apologize for not giving that option on the other side. Little foot flex, long spine, maybe a little folding forward, using the pelvis to lead the way, and then softening the spine in to that flexion. Breathe in. Noticing how this side feels compared to the other. And not always, but generally, whatever leg is on top is probably the one you're feeling, or whatever leg is in front if you're doing Sukhasana. Come on up, and we're just going to let our legs come out from here. If you want to come up to do that, you're welcome to, right? Feel free to stay on your height or come off it. Let your legs come directly out in front of you, right? Feel free to sit on height if you have tight hamstrings or it just feels better in your body. I like to take my upper thighs and kind of rock them out a little to the right and the left, just so I'm on the middle of my buttocks bones. Right? Little activity. Reach those arms up, get nice and tall, find that longest of spines, and then go ahead and start to fold forward. Now bring your hands down. Wherever you get, don't go for your feet. Even if you can get the feet, maybe not quite yet. I'll get you there, I promise. You're going to grab your shins and you're going to pull against your shins and see if you can pull that pelvis a little further forward, buttocks, bones back, and then soften down in. So if you want to grab the feet or further forward on the legs and keep that pulling action, but I'm going to suggest that we just turn our palms up and soften in and breathe. Let that spine round. Once you get that pelvis in place, hopefully we get the dual action of, yes, we're feeling the hamstrings lengthen, but also maybe that The muscles alongside the spinal column are a little longer too. There's a cooling quality to forward folds energetically. So really just seeing if you can tap into that cooling factor. And use those hands on the ground, pull the belly back to the spine to come up. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to start to roll down onto our back for just the last little bit here. So use a little core on your way down. And then from there, let's go ahead and have our feet walk as wide as our mat, tee the arms out. Let your legs go over to the right. We're just going to stay in stillness right off the bat with windshield wiper. This is option one, right? Option two, I'm going to reach my left knee forward towards the front edge of the mat. I'm going to feel the front of that left hip get a little opening probably. Option three, put the right ankle on the left knee, but then find a little bit of that second one we just did where the knee reaches forward today. So a little weighting down and a little forward all at the same time. Head can turn to the left or not, and whatever you're choosing, please breathe. Bring that right foot down if it's up. Let's all of us bring our knees up. Exhale over to the left. Again, option one is just simply this. I get passive, do nothing. Option two, do it here so you can feel it before you put the foot up. I reach my right knee forward, 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 and I start to feel an expansion of the front of my right hip. Option three, I put that left foot on the right thigh, but then I'm going to add number two into it today if I can and try to really get long through that whole right side body. Maybe turn head right, soften the shoulders back to the earth or towards the earth, soft jaw and tongue. Left foot down, bring those knees back up. And let's go ahead and go into happy baby for just a couple of breaths. So you don't have to grab your feet. You can grab your ankles or your shins, right? For me, it depends on the day. Maybe add that rocking motion. And then I feel like I could use an inner groin stretch. So what I love to do in this pose, I like to move just kind of freely. So when I rock to the right, I let my right leg extend towards straight. And same thing when I go to the left side. And I don't worry so much about the happy baby shape as I just kind of rock back and forth. You do you. Feel free to explore things I haven't even said. And then when you feel complete with that, let's move into final resting, whatever that is for you today, constructive rest or shavasana. And just noticing if with that practice we feel more balanced. And that can mean so many different things and so many different bodies. But if you felt a little stressed out when you started, right, and like maybe you had too much energy up and out, do you feel like maybe here towards the end you feel a little more grounded, or maybe you feel a little calmer? And of course, the opposite could be true if you were just like lethargic and almost too calm and not even able to get your mind to work. Does it feel like now you're moving a little bit and have some energy to take throughout the day, right? So almost anything I name off, I could then name a quote opposite, right? The idea is that we want to try to be somewhere in the middle of all of these types of things. Let's take about 5 more breaths or so. Nice, slow, steady breaths.
And bring your awareness back to your breath. Maybe wiggle fingers and toes or stretch arms overhead, etc. Again, there are no rules to this. Just noticing your body as you move, responding if your body wants to move in a particular way. Taking your time. And if by chance you do have that sense of calm, trying to keep it with you when you come on up. And coming into that upright posture, noticing that beautiful body, those points of contact with the earth, and that energy moving all the way up the body until that helium balloon head gently rises, but of course it's tethered. Bring those hands together in front of your heart, and as we bow our head in, let's take a moment and set an intention for the rest of our day. Even if that's right now and you're just going to bed after this, right? Like, just set an intention or not. Namaste. May you be well, friends. May everyone everywhere be well, every being, no exception.